I am Slick Nick, the living legend of hair loss, your personal hairline hero. I am here. I am at the bottom of this rabbit hole that your own obsession has led you to. Because you typed into YouTube, am I gonna go bald? How do I know if I have a receding hairline? And you probably found a legitimate video. And you watch, what's on the side right there? Suggested video. Oh, Nick Show, who's this guy? Bam, you're here, and now you are exposed to the only popular YouTuber who talks about hair loss, who is the red pill pusher. I'm here to tell you, you're not judged on your hair, you're judged on 10 other things, and much more harshly than your hair. If you want to find out what they are, just look at the video below and you'll learn what they are. You'll also learn how to accurately predict if you're gonna go bald. You'll find out both of that in like an 8-minute video. If you haven't already, just click the video. So that's the concept here. The concept is, what if you're wasting time worrying if you're gonna go bald, ultimately because you're fearing that females will not find you attractive. So if you want to keep believing that your hair is going to lead to women not liking you, well, that means you're blue pill. You will continue to live in that world. But if you want to unplug and join me as a red pill kind of guy, you realize, wow, instead of limiting myself by fearing that I'll go bald, actually, I can become even greater by building on these things that people actually care about to begin with, because people are judging you every single day so harshly. And it's not your hair, man. It's 10 other things. I mean, they're judging you. It's bad. Why wouldn't you care about those 10 things? Probably because you're young, immature, insecure, you haven't figured out your life yet. And instead of listening to an older man who can actually help you, you listen to those inner demons who basically you serve as your own bully in the mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the not baldest of them all? Or we could say the mirror is your phone, as you're constantly asking for people to confirm your identity, that you're good enough, funny enough, whatever it is. Meanwhile, in reality, those rules don't apply in the real world, and I know that. I mean, think about this. I'm 39 and a half, and you're like either a teenager or in your early 20s. You will admit you don't know a lot about life yet. So why would you want to listen to yourself? Why would you want to carry on that blue pill mentality when you can listen to someone who can actually help you and provide good information? And I'm telling you, it's red pill information. So with that being said, that's the mentality. That's what this channel is all about. But I'm looking in the comments, and a recurring theme is people are talking about being short. So I've been very open. I'm 5'9". I know that I'm not tall. You know, if you put me in the Avengers lineup, I'm going to be there with like Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Hulk. I'm going to be there with the new Spider-Man. I'm going to be there with Iron Man. Those are the shorter guys in the lineup. I'm one of those. I'm not tall. I'm not necessarily short, but I'm not tall. I'm not ashamed of that. But I will tell you, I once was like you. I once was a teenager, 17. I was a junior. I'm looking around like, but he was always the small kid in the group. Now he's taller than me. He's like 6 foot. Well, I get to be 6 foot. Well, I grow taller. I've got a couple more years. And then I graduate high school and I'm still 5'9". Remember, I'm insecure back then, right? I don't have things figured out. So I'm thinking like a boy, not a man. And so the internet was fairly new. I graduated high school in 99. So the internet was fairly new. I ordered these like soul inserts for your phone, for your shoes. And ancient Chinese, stuff that's supposed to hit certain parts of your foot that makes you grow. And that's what Chinese people do. So I bought these, I wore, they were horrible. It's laughable now because I totally don't care about wanting to be taller. Who cares about that? It's funny, at the gym, I've noticed I'm not really short at all at the gym. If anything, I'm actually taller than a lot of guys at the gym. And I think it's that whole concept, like I talk about in the video, in the link. Focus on the things that people actually care about. One of the things on the list is that you're fit and that you're healthy. You can't control your height, you can't control your hair, but you can control being fit and healthy. You can control that. So there's plenty of guys that are 5'7" and got a lot of muscles. And suddenly people aren't distracted by their height anymore because look at those muscles and that's a lot of discipline. And they can control that unlike their height. But it's funny, the same blue pill mindset of insecure guys that say, what if I go bald, women won't find me attractive? While meanwhile you're being judged on those 10 things I mentioned in the video, those same guys will share that blue pill mentality. But I'm only 5'9", no one's gonna love me. I am not kidding when I say this. About a year ago, I had someone comment on my channel, on the hair loss channel here. And the guy was like, I think he was 5'8", I remember this. He was 5'8" because he was only an inch shorter than me, okay? So he was 5'8", and he went through this whole thing, like freaking out about it, like no girl's gonna find me attractive. And he kept on and on about it, leaving comments. And I know when people are trolling me and when they're trying to like see if I'll respond to their silly comment, I'm telling you, this guy went on and on way too much about it, and he never joked around about anything. And this is all he ever talked about. But he authentically asked me if I could, quote, teach him to become gay, teach him to become attracted to men, since no woman will love him because he's only 5'8". Now granted, that's a very extreme situation, an example, but there are people who will do that. They will trap themselves so much in their own limitations when other people aren't judging. So just let's imagine how crazy that is. You're 5'8", no woman will ever love you because you're 5'8". I guess I better learn to become gay. So I'm gonna talk to the straight guy who's been married for 12 years and try to learn how to become gay from him, like he's offering that. Like, there's such a lack of logic in that, but that's a true story. It's somewhere in the comments of one of my videos from a year ago. So what I'm saying is this: are you short? You might be. Will you grow taller? You might not. But we can always find exceptions to the rule. We can find men who are noticeably short, yet they're perceived as very attractive and successful. I mean, actually, if you just name 10 male actors, chances are there's gonna be at least a few that are under 6 feet. But it's funny because I know he's not he's a living legend. Tom Cruise is only, what, 5'7", you know? And it's funny because even Sylvester Stallone, I think, is like 5'10". He's not that tall. But men, insecure men, put so much focus on that. And again, it's 10 other things. So, and we can make this about anything. If you are insecure and you haven't figured out what you're good or you're bad at yet, if you haven't watched that video about the 10 things, you are looking at yourself and your own perceived insecurities instead of focusing on what people actually want from you. People want things from you. Do you know that, man? People want things from you. Do they want your height? No. Do they want your hair? No. Do you know how the female mind works? I know more than you do about that. I've been married 12 years. You have to know more about the female mind and what they actually expect from you and what they actually find attractive of you. What insecure young men tend to do is, because they're so self-centered and they're judging females mainly on the outside, they assume that women do the same thing, which men who are completely bald and short often tend to have very attractive girlfriends and wives. Granted, they probably work out too, but still, they know how to tune into the female mind and know how to tap into what are they actually needing from me, and not trying to attract them in the way that I'm attracted to them. So do you want to make it that you're bald, or you fear that you might go bald? Do you want to make it that you're not tall enough? Do you want to make it about your nose is too big, your nose is too small, your skin's too dark or too light, that your ears stick out, that your nose is crooked? How did that happen? That you can't grow a beard, that you're too hairy of a guy. I mean, you can take your insecurity and you can really run with it. And you can end up being like the guy who's 5'8" and asking advice on how to become gay because no women will love him because he's 5'8". So you could become that guy. But you can see it's kind of a slippery slope. Like, you have to check out of that mentality. You unplug yourself from blue pill life and become red pill like me. Now, the good news for you, and I'll close on this note. Good news is most of you over time will, just like I did. I'm not 20 anymore. I'm nearly double 20 now. And I am very confident in myself. I know what I'm bad at. I know what I'm good at. I know what people want from me and what people find attractive in me. And I focus on those things. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys to do as well. And over time, you do become more like me and you think more like me. But when you're 20, it's hard to do. When you're 17, it's hard to do. When you're 24, it's even hard to do. Life experience will get you here. So ultimately, if nothing else, think of this as a preview of your mindset eventually. Eventually, you'll get where I am. But right now, you're just too immature and too insecure and too self-centered to become like me. Man, Nick, that's a self-centered thing to say. Is it though? Is it?